Welcome back to another video. As you can see, they're back. The Anchorage Tigers make their return in Madden 26 under the guise or under the tutelage of Coach Manu Battles. They will be replacing the Cleveland Browns, who, as you know, are kind of one of the, well, not one of, probably the worst franchise in league history. They've have the most, they have the least amount of success. Heck, even the Jets have won a Super Bowl before the Browns did. And I'm talking about NFL Super Bowl. I'm not talking about no AFL. The Browns have never won a Super Bowl. And with the way their organization has been going in recent years, I don't think they're going to win one anytime soon, anyways. The Cleveland Browns, since they got disbanded as a team and the NFL basically replaced them, they're like, we want a new face of the league. We want a new team to come in and replace the Browns because they're just a crappy organization. Have somebody new who actually knows what the frick they're doing. There ain't no statistics here. Well, I guess there is, but a new team brings in money. The league's been talking about bringing in a new team for a long time anyways, so what better way than to basically replace a team that is already going downhill rapidly, as if they didn't already start off at that pace. And why not bring back a team, yet again, who we didn't get to have a proper ending with? So we did the same thing with Santa Cruz. And if you haven't seen my series on Madden or NCAA 26, and you don't know who Coach Manu is, I do live streams every now and then, so feel free to go check those out. But yeah, you'll if you watch the streams, you'll understand who Coach Manu Battles is. He was a former tight end for the Oregon Tech Fire Dragons, who sadly he kind of broke his spine or whatever, fractured it, whatever. He had a spine injury, which basically sat him out the rest of his entire career. He was a sophomore. He had several years left to play, but unfortunately, injury ended his on the field career. So what did he decide to do? He decided to ask around and learn how to be a coach. And well, he went on to become that pretty freaking fast. With the rise of Oregon Tech and the fall of Manu Battles, he became their tight end coach, then moved on to eventually become the head coach of Santa Cruz, who went on to be one of the best teams in Pac-6 history. Basically, having them go undefeated for 3 straight years, nearly 4. He basically had Santa Cruz do what no other Pac-6 team has done the entire time, and that's go to playoffs more than just once. He won their first playoff game ever for Santa Cruz, and he wants to try to do the same thing, but at the NFL level. Now, he's kind of doing the same thing Santa Cruz had. He's starting off with a pretty bad team, but the owners and the GM believe in him. And Coach Manu, he's proven it before. He can lead a great group of guys to build up a legendary team. But I guess without further ado, let's go ahead and meet the team. Starting at quarterback, he used to be a MVP caliber player, but then injuries riddled his career. The same team he led to have a dominant season in the Eagles, he eventually got replaced by Nick Foles, who went on to win the Super Bowl. And Carson Wentz kind of never looked back, or he never looked forward from there. He kind of lost all hope, and he was trying to come back to be their starter, but it just never really went too well. He eventually went to a new team and has just become a journeyman from there. And then a shocker signing. Obviously, this man went undrafted, which not many people did believe would happen. Now, this is set in the future. I'm going to say he did get signed by the Ravens still, but he didn't. They released him not too long after. We are into the regular season, so it's past preseason. We liked what he saw. We liked what we saw from him in preseason. Ravens released him or put him on practice squad, kind of same thing. But we decided, you know what? He could be our backup QB. Well, I guess no, compete for the backup QB job because he is not alone. Now, he's a 5'10" quarterback, rookie out of Vanderbilt, and he's already 24, which that's not the best. But luckily for us, he can scramble if he has to, but he's not got breakaway speed. And he can definitely chuck it deep, but he needs to work on his accuracy a lot. He is a younger guy who needs to just work on his ability. Now, I mean, he also loved the fact that Coach Manu was very successful in college, but he's so worried that he might not have much success in the NFL. And the man who's competing with Diego for that backup spot is, of course, former Longhorns quarterback Quinn Ewers. I mean, Quinn Ewers used to be a really good quarterback at Texas, then went to the Dolphins, spent a year there. He looked okay, but he just needs to develop properly. He looked fairly well in college. Not the best, but he did look pretty solid. So that's another reason why we're bringing him in. We're trying to bring in guys who we think we can develop and who we think could actually be future quarterbacks for us. Now, obviously, we bring in Carson Wentz to be the mentor, despite him not having that tag. He could still be a serviceable QB. Now, we don't have the best roster, but it's really all about looking forward. And at running back, we have some rookies. We have Le'Veon Moss and Roman Hemby, former Indiana running back and former A&M running back. Of course, I love my Aggies, so Le'Veon Moss makes sense. Also, he was a pretty good running back there. And then, of course, Deuce Vaughn. Many teams would just throw Deuce to the side because he's 5'6". Oh no, he's way too short. Well, his biggest weakness could be his biggest strength for us. We want to try to build him up as a super elusive running back who basically just be the small, super shifty guy. And we want that. We want the underdog on the team. He is going to be basically competing for the starting running back job, but we've got three young, hungry guys who really, really want to fight for that starting spot. They're all 23, so let's hope they can compete. And then our receiving core, it consists of Cavante Turpin, who is going to be our speed demon. He's going to be our return man, our speed demon, everything of the sort. Cowboys were okay with letting him go. He's 29. He's used to playing with guys of this caliber, well, at least in the UFL. Former UFL MVP, or actually no, USFL, not UFL. I don't think he played in that. But yeah, he played in the USFL, and I mean, boy, he was an electric return man. But you got to remember that was a couple years ago. He's still been an electric return man, one of the best in the NFL at returning the football. We're just hoping he can be our Tyreek Hill and be a speed demon. He is 5'9", which, yeah, we can kind of hope he can be that speed, kind of like our deep threatish, but yet another small guy. But the one guy I'm excited for, teaming him back up with his fellow Aggie, of course, I'm talking about Le'Veon Moss, KC Concepcion. Now, he did get drafted by the Browns, but as you know, the Browns kind of got yeeted and deleted. Or deleted and yeeted, whatever. So, we decide we want to try to take a shot at him. Now I think he was a first round pick. I think I'm correct. Either first or second round pick. So this man isn't terrible by any means. It's just he's a good receiver, but his catching ability is very worrisome. At A&M, he was a really good receiver. He was really good at route running. He was decently fast, as you can see, 93 speed. But the problem is his hands were a little bit worrisome. He would tend to drop a lot of the football a lot of the time, and it did not look good on him. So we want to take our chance and basically turn him into the next Quentin Johnston. Of course, he was a guy who also struggled with catch issues, but we're not going to let that happen. We're going to train him up to where he can actually well, I guess we're technically going to do what they did with Quentin Johnston, where he used to struggle heavily with catching, but we ain't going to let that happen. That ain't us. That is not us. So what are we going to do? Train him up. And then, of course, you can see the rest of the receiving core. Not anything to smile at. Of course, we just got to hope our fast guys can burn them. And then at tight end, we have probably one too many. We're hoping some of these younger guys can take a step forward. Elijah Higgins with 89 speed, Gillenborg with 86, and then Mallory with 87. It's these low overall guys that we could barely afford. As a new team, we weren't trying to spend too much money. We still have a fair amount in cap space, but all the most of the former players that played for Cleveland, as soon as they were told they got released from the Browns because they were no longer a team, they went elsewhere. They went to teams that that could win Super Bowls fairly quickly, and I'll get to that in a second. But yeah, the tight end core, it's not the best. And then our offensive line. This is really where the Browns weren't strong at to begin with, and we retained some of their players, but not a lot. Like Weibler, yeah, no. But we did get younger, so we're hoping that some of these guys develop. And then for the defense, yeah, some of these guys are okay. Don't get me wrong, they're okay. But like we managed to keep Mason Graham, obviously former Michigan defensive tackle. He was actually really good. He is the best player on the team. He's got the most upside, and we just gotta hope he is the presence on defense that we need. Because so far, we're not gonna have an identity for a while, at least until next year. This Anchorage Tigers team is gonna be pretty bad for a while. I'm just hoping we can at least manage to get like somebody like Mason Graham to look good. I just want Mason Graham to develop and become basically the new Myles Garrett because he's no longer on this team. He is long gone. But yeah, Mason Graham has got to be the number one guy when it comes to defense. We've got to hope that he can rush the passer fairly well. And also, the linebackers are a pretty big issue. Now, don't mind, we got Justin Jefferson. This is like whenever whenever you ask your mom, "Hey, I want to go see John Cena." Well, John Cena at home. In this case, it's, "Hey, can we get Justin Jefferson?" Honey, why do we need to get Justin Jefferson when we have Justin Jefferson at home? It's a 67 overall Mike linebacker. Sorry, guys, get your hopes up. It's only a linebacker. Now, not to discredit him, he's a rookie from Alabama. Let's just hope he plays really good. Let's hope so. Let's hope he plays like Justin Jefferson and not like that Justin Jefferson or the other one. We want him to be known as the Justin Jefferson, not just, oh, that Justin Jefferson? No, that Justin Jefferson. Okay. We want him to be known as that. Our cornerback room, yeah, looks rough. We've only got 190 plus speed corner, and his name is Chris Abrams Drain. Of course, I mean the only 90 speed corner that's within the top 5 corners that on our team. The other ones who have 90 plus speed are literally the 2 to 3 worst corners on the entire team. And as for the secondary and the safety spot, we got rookie from Toledo, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Not too bad. Kicker, of course, we just kept the Cleveland ones. There's no real problem. But since we aren't choosing Cleveland, the NFL decided, you know what? You can get Cleveland's former draft picks. No, we're not going to give the draft picks they traded for back to the teams. We're just going to give you Cleveland's picks, which means we're going to have 2 first-round picks this year. Well, Myles Garrett went to none other than the Denver Broncos. And you might have been wondering, well, what team is willing to take on that Deshaun Watson contract? Well, let's just say we didn't have to worry about that. Luckily, it wasn't us. The Titans are going to be the one taking on all that. And it looks like they somehow managed to, I don't know how on earth they did it, but they somehow managed to finesse the deal into where he doesn't really have to pay too much. What? I don't know how that works. But hey, he's a big weight off our shoulders. We didn't have to deal with that. And plus, the league was going to, they were considering making us have to pay his contract, but no, they're making the old Browns owner have to pay it. So the NFL kind of gave us a pass with that. Like we came this like inches close between becoming to or having to pay Deshaun Watson, but no. The NFL was like, that is such a massive contract that you'd have to deal with, especially for a new organization. So we're going to make the old owner have to pay it. Here's what the top 5 picks are potentially looking like. You've got 3 edge rushers in the top 5. You got Cam Dickinson, Taj. Is that Taj? I think. Oh, yeah, you can see the little lip. So Taj Judge and Zach Font. Will we go edge rusher? Will we try to make that defensive line dangerous? Or will we go a guy like Emmett Barrett, 6'4", 234 pounds, out of West Virginia? His top fits are Arizona, Miami, and the Giants. I mean, he's a big, strong-arm quarterback out of West Virginia. Not bad. And welcome to the Tiger Dome here in Anchorage, Alaska, home of the Anchorage Tigers. Of course, taking on their rivals in the Battle of the Paw, Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, I mean, they're coming off of a season where they had a Pro Bowl quarterback, but it wasn't Joe Burrow. Of course, Joe Flacco came in, was the backup QB. He was actually the starter at Cleveland, got traded to Cincinnati, but now they've got Joe Burrow back, and they've got a much better team. Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals looking to have their Super Bowl window wide open. Of course, they made some big signings in the offseason, going out and signing guys like Dexter Lawrence, actually trading for him. Great decision. But let's not talk about their defense. Let's talk about their offense. Joe Burrow is an MVP caliber quarterback anytime he is healthy. He is an MVP caliber quarterback whenever he is healthy, not hurt, which is pretty much what he's been a lot so far, as Chase Brown already running it out that gut for 13. So the first play of the season for the Bengals is a 13-yard run. Let's hope that isn't a sign of how this one's to go. But man, you gotta look. This stadium is actually pretty beautiful. You got the tiger in the middle with the Anchorage, actually with Alaska on there. Kind of beautiful, but that's a nice TFL. Taking up down in the backfield. Now it's 3rd and 7. We're going to try to run some man. And T. Higgins, easy passing catch. The DB caught off guard. DB just getting beat right there. He's going to pass it out, and Chase going to get it out 4. I wouldn't say running man defense is all too smart considering the level of play that we are at. Oh, the pancake! Davis Gaithers gets hooked down big time. And it will be a first down for Chase Brown, who actually manages to get it thanks to good blocking. So now Cincinnati is at a 1st and 10. Joe is lone man in the backfield. And it's caught. T. Higgins, man, one-on-one, you can't beat him. There's a reason these guys are paid the big bucks. You got to understand why they paid them that much money. They did it because, well, they're actually pretty freaking good. And you know who else is good? Mike Gesicki, who's in the end zone. Cincinnati will get their first score of their season. Defense was doing a okay job, but then we just got met with the disadvantages. The linebacker who, actually, well, that's not who we thought before. He just didn't dive. Number 57, you've got to dive. If you do something like that, then I'll learn your name. And here comes Carson Wentz looking to research his career. He's 32. He's not really hit the same since his rookie year. How will this offense be prepared? Wentz under center. He's going to hand it off to the former Indiana running back, Roman Hemby. Only a couple yards to be exact. I mean, that's... They got a star player, receiver, Kevontae Turpin, and Hemby looked at again. Like I was saying, they have some speed at receiver. They've got a Kevontae Turpin. It's not like they're the slowest team. And it's a foul. Oh, wait, it'll be first down. Oh, he's going to get it. So the first down for them is going to be a fumble recovery. So Wentz showing a little bit of his old ability with these passes. And Hemby, big run. He's going to have himself a first down, the first one of his career. The running back out of Indiana. I mean, you know, we won a national championship with him. But national championships aren't going to correlate to the NFL like that. Of course, knowing Coach Manu, he loves to get his tight ends involved, like Kolar. So, he loves to get them designed tight end plays in. Speaking of which, he's got his man Kolar, the tight end. You better be thankful he's got a coach who loves his tight ends. It's unfortunate that we couldn't get the first down there. I mean, the tight end was caught up. And now time for the kicker to get it home, but he's going to miss wide left. We held it for a little too long. Oh, man, Schmidt. Why did you miss? Come on, pal. You're not helping your case. And obviously, Coach Amanu's unhappy. He's going to quickly realize how terrible this Anchorage team truly is. Obviously, the card that he's been dealt hasn't necessarily been in his favor. But Chase Brown juking out a defender. Finally brought down. He's already got 41. Obviously, we want the young D tackle to succeed, but we can't have him succeed if he's just not going to do anything good. No, and it's a missed tackle, Jamar Chase. He's going to have a first down over the middle. And that'll be the end of the first quarter. Cincinnati's got the lead 7-0. We kind of failed our one chance to score so far. We were driving down pretty quickly. It just didn't really work out for us how we wanted it to. So now on 2nd and 13. I mean, we didn't get a stop before. Can we get our first stop? Just going to throw underneath. Chase Brown avoiding the defense. And, yep, they're already in red zone. Goal line, I mean. First and goal from the 6. Oh, man. Yeah, we just need better defensive players. We need somebody to step up because Cincinnati is not going to step down. First and goal, we really need a Mason Graham special here. Show us why you were drafted highly. They're going to run it to the left, and it's an easy Chase Brown touchdown. It's a 2-score lead. Oh, yikes. I mean, Chase Brown, this offense is nothing to scoff at. Like we said earlier, this is a Super Bowl ready team. They are not ready to give it up. And we are a win-need team. Well, last time out, we got close to scoring, but our kicker, Schmidt, kind of missed it. So now we need another big play. And with big play, Le'Veon Moss getting a first down on the run. Maybe Moss needs some more playing time. Obviously, he's competing for the starting job, but he could very well get it with another run like that. All right, Le'Veon Moss, he got a good run last time. Hemby, he's got to compete. Oh, I mean, a counterplay isn't the best, but look who it is. Dexter Lawrence. So now 3rd and 11. We're going to need a lot here. And Malachi Corley's going to get just about to 4th and 2. But I don't think I trust the kicker. Considering he missed a much shorter kick, yeah, I don't know if I trust Schmidt right now. Let's try to go for it and see if we can get it. Ooh, I don't know if I trust a run here. I don't hate a Kevontae Turpin. Just run a streak. No! He couldn't quite get it over the defender. Got a hand up. 3rd and 1. Definitely watch for a run play here. They're all under center. Which side, though? And we're going to take them down. Our first stop of the season. It's going to come. Did Davis do something? Finally taking him down for a stop. Let's look at it again. Chase, no, that's not Chase Brown. Davis, Gather, and the corner. Carson Wentz, we need you here. We need you big time. If you can't get us a touchdown here or something, we're taking you out. You know what? Let's see what his old legs can do, his surgically repaired ones. Let's get a run here. QB power, and he's going to get the first. The old man rumbling, bumbling, stumbling for the first, and he can't get up. Throw them Bengals off you. We're going to utilize those tight ends as well as we possibly can. Like here, Kolar, nice, and he's going to have a juke. Kolar's going to be gone. If he had a little bit more speed. A great job from the tight end, and Cincinnati already calling a timeout with 2.5 left in the quarter. But great big play. Add a way to break off your defender. Well, that was one heck of a play. Just checking it down isn't the worst thing to do. But he managed to get his man. Oh, he had Kevontae open, but pressure was there. I mean, I'm not scared of running the football. It's just look at this coverage. Kolar, yet again, he's going to have an even bigger first down. Kolar might be the target to go to. Are we seeing a Carson Wentz-Kolar collab? Look at this. I mean, Carson just knowing exactly where he's going to be. Wide open over the middle. Kolar is in open territory. At the 7-yard line. We're going to try to see, can this run game get us in? Hemby not taking advantage. 3rd and 3, Cincinnati calling yet another timeout. 3rd and 3 from the 6. We're still scoreless with 1:48 left in the first half. Wouldn't hit a Royer pass here. Maybe even Kolar. He's got it. And Ellie drops it. Royer, no! We could have had our first touchdown. So Royer will drop our first touchdown of the season. And now we're going to have to go back at it on 4th and 3. And it's overthrown. Carson couldn't get it accurate enough. He had his tight end Kolar open. DJ Turner going to get the pick. It was just thrown way too high. That sucks. I mean, Carson throwing off his back foot for whatever reason. All you have to do is follow the train. Just throw it to your tight end Kolar and he would have a touchdown. Then again, it didn't help your other tight end dropped it. So you had one drop it and one just get overthrown. So now the Bengals have the ability to take a 3-score lead for the end of the half. Oh, and it's caught, number 82. I'm terrible with names. Tinsley. Man, he's going to have it. Looks like they're definitely trying to waste some time. Underneath. And Chase Brown yet again. They're going to actually pick up the first, but Cincinnati's got 0 timeouts. And a minute left. But I wouldn't be that defense. Please, Joe's going to get out. He will get tackled. 20 seconds left. Looks like they're going to try to spike it. I wonder if we can try to get in there. That looks like a fumble for a second. 11 seconds. They've got no timeouts. And they've got a 14-point lead. So, this could be bad. Throw it away yet again. I don't know how Joe isn't getting penalties for this. But we're going to get another stop, and they're going to be held to a field goal. It's going to be a long field goal. Kick is up. Nearly blocked. Oh, man, that would have been nice. But no, they're going to take a 17-0 lead going into halftime. And yeah, that's halftime. We're down 17-0. There were times where we should have scored. Like that first drive, we were looking good. Then we kind of turned it over. And then that one drop pass by the tight end, the overthrow by Carson. Yeah, that's rough. But this second half, we're gonna put a backup in. We're gonna actually see how Diego Pavia plays. We're gonna see how the rookie plays. We know Quinn Ewers can. Quinn Ewers is kind of like a last-ditch effort. Joe Burrow, he's only thrown 3 incompletions, 8 for Carson Wentz. Gotta have better play from him.
Evan McPherson to kick off for Cincinnati.
Well, we don't have the ball. They're going to get the ball in the red zone. Thank you, Dan. I love it when I turn the ball over to open. And he is going to get it. Is that Tinsley again? I think so. Yeah, I take it he was running like an angle, like a Texas route, kind of, like slot receiver. 1st and goal for Cincinnati already. They are trying to show everybody why they are Super Bowl ready. Chase Brown getting probably one of the easier touchdowns of his career. Well, as if he didn't have an easy one earlier, where he was basically untouched. He is just getting easy touchdowns left and right. Well, now, after a quick blunder before the half can even begin for us, Diego Pavia is going to get to play. Let's see how he does. We want this rookie quarterback to let it sink in. And Corley, I mean, that wasn't a bad pass, but he had him open. So 3rd and 7, our receivers just love dropping the football when their quarterback needs it most. And Turpin can't catch it now. His receivers are not helping him. This isn't Diego's fault. His receivers dropped several passes. Let me cover deep while we're supposed to be covering short. Or whenever I'm blitzing. And it's intercepted. Johnson's going to get the pick. We forced Joe to turn it over. DJ Johnson, a former Panther, is going to get the pick. Let's go. We force a turnover. We're not going to be like the Jets. We're actually going to force something. In the very first game of the season as well. Like I said, if Diego Pavia can score here, he might be looking at a potential starting job. And Cavante Turpin, he's going to have himself a first down, getting it down to the 13. You already know he's electric when it comes to his speed. But the problem is, he's just not the best at catching the football. But it's kind of hard not to catch it when you are that wide open. Diego seems to be putting in some decent work right now. Definitely having a solid argument for starter. And Hemby just going to get a nice 6 yards. 3rd and 4. I mean, Kolar and KC might not be a bad idea. And it's dropped again. Man, we cannot hold on. 4th and 4. Man, none of our quarterbacks can really catch a break. Everybody just seems to want to be dropping it. But you know who's not? Hemby in the end zone. Touchdown. That's going to make it I guess, still a 3-score lead. But still, our first touchdown. Hemby. Pavia. Who would have thought? The rookie connection. Vanderbilt, Indiana connection there. Pavia, he kind of got enough time. Luckily, his linemen were blocking him. An incredible route from Hemby, breaking the ankles. What a job. That whip route looked nice, Hemby. 2-point conversion, because why not? We're going to see if the running back can get it. No. Terrible idea. Imagine a stop here. They'd still kick the field goal. And draw offsides. And Jamar Chase in the end zone. You know he wasn't going to not find a way to get in. Using that burst of speed of his and then looking at both sides of him. The front and back. The crotch and the buttocks. Just look at this. He took it underneath. This is why underneath routes are never to be slept on. Oh, that guy's arm's got to be dislocated or something. He just missed the tackle on Jamar Chase. You can't miss a tackle on a guy like him. We've really got to see another scoring drive from Diego. I feel like he has definitely cemented his starting position. If he can definitely do that here. Nice catch to Cavante holding on. Yeah, I mean, Diego's a young guy. He didn't need to rush that ball. Unfortunately, he did. Kolar! What on earth? That was a terrible pass. Moonballed it. But still, he got it to Kolar, who managed to get around the edge. And for a first? I guess they're saying it Kolar. But look at this moonball. Fitting it over top in between the 3 defenders. And not only did he catch it, it wasn't a pick. It was actually a first down. How on earth did that play just happen? Well, Cavante's a little banged up, so we might need to worry about that. You know who we don't need to worry about? Casey Concepcion! The rookie-to-rookie connection again! Man, rookies are the only people who can score on this team. Casey Concepcion, A&M receiver. And look, he's already celebrating with his teammates. Now, I will admit, most of this team is consisted of young players, like 23, 24. Casey Concepcion is no different. But, didn't look like he was struggling with catching there. Touchdown, Anchorage. Well, not the way we wanted the game to go, but hey, we figured out our quarterback situation. Diego Pavia managed to help us score twice. Um, I mean, Carson Wentz, yeah, I mean, he's a good quarterback, but not the one we're going to start with. They were cooking us in the passing game, and, well, it shows. Jamar Chase put on the burners, like, right there. We need to tackle better, like, actually. Otherwise, we might go 0-17 this year. I think the only team to ever be able to do that. I could be wrong, though. But we don't want to be the first. We got to win sometime. Who it's against? I don't know. Now, as you can see, Joe Burrow, he did not let up. 21 for 28. He only threw 7 incompletions. One of those was actually an interception. Not bad for us. We managed to get a turnover, so we're not going to be looking like the 2025 New York Jets anytime soon. As much as I love the Jets rebuild, the real life Jets still suck. Well, I don't know about this year. I really don't know. But the guy who doesn't suck, who could be our potential future starting QB, Diego Pavia. Now, I will admit they both threw 8 incompletions, but I think Diego just had a better game. Carson had the entire first half to produce, and this is the best he could do. With Diego, he threw 2 less passes. So they pretty much would have had the same stat line, but the difference between Diego and Carson Wentz is Diego scored twice. He actually managed to score. And it wasn't against some bums. We're in the first week of the regular season. It's against the starting Bengals defense. So he had the same advantages Carson Wentz had, the same disadvantages as well. But you know what Diego did with it? He went and scored. So I think that's fair to say Diego deserves the starting job. Now, you could say, "Oh, why did you take Carson Wentz out so early?" Well, um, if we wanted to figure out who our starting QB was going to be, why not just give our starting QB the first half and give our backup the second half? But what about Quinn Ewers? Well, Quinn, we're not going to look at him probably for a while. Like I said, he is the last ditch effort. I think Diego's deserving of the starting job, and Carson Wentz, he's going to be the backup for now. He's going to be in the background, training up or trying to be kind of like a mentor, like not father figure, but that'd be crazy. Even though Diego is the size of a child, Carson Wentz is still. Yeah, he'd be the mentor. He can be in the background coaching up Diego, considering Carson Wentz was a former first round pick, and Diego, well, we already know how that went. He went undrafted. So Carson knows a thing or two about a thing or two. And for the run game, well, I don't think we did too bad. Well, obviously, Roman Hemby, he didn't do as good as he could have. But I think one guy who deserves to get a better shot at starting, Le'Veon Moss. He had 1 carry for 15 yards. Now, he also did have a fumble, but it's whatever. Hemby also had a fumble, but he used 9 carries for 25 yards. Half of that was probably just us trying to do like stretches and the inside zones not working as well as we wanted them to. But Le'Veon still had 1 carry for 15. On that 1 carry, he basically was only 10 yards away from Hemby. If he would have had 2 of those carries, he would have been, well, better off than Hemby was. Now, what about Deuce Vaughn? I think Deuce probably would have put up the same stats that Roman Hemby did. So let's let Le'Veon Moss get a start. We're going to see how these young players can play. We want to see if anybody can step up. And so far, I've seen Diego step up. I've seen Le'Veon Moss step up. Hemby had his opportunity. He got 9 carries. Now, 25 yards isn't terrible. But on 9 carries, you could have gotten, 30 yards. You could have, well, he was only 4 away. So who's to say he couldn't have gotten like 50? But he barely even got 25. So I'm going to say Le'Veon's going to get a start. Diego's going to get the start. What about receiver? Well, I think Charlie Collar is very much the starting tight end, if he isn't already. 108 yards. We already know we love our tight ends. 4 catches, 108 yards. Even on one where it shouldn't have been a big play, it turned into one. Now, obviously, our defense surprisingly held Jamar Chase to like 64 yards. T. Higgins to 68. Now, Jamar and Mike Gesicki, they both got touchdowns. But our first ever touchdown was to Roman Hemby on a kind of like a whip route, like a motion out whip route. And then also Casey Concepcion on an 18-yard catch. I think it was like third down or something. Diego Pavia getting his second touchdown that basically cemented his job as the starter. But one problem I did see with our receiving core was the drop situation. Now, Kalar, he didn't have a drop, he was overthrown. So who's to say we wouldn't have had a touchdown with Carson Wentz? Now, Carson, he wasn't even pressured all too bad when he threw it to Kalar. He, I think he definitely read it a tad bit too late. He could have thrown it a bit sooner, I think. He definitely needed to plant his feet a little bit better. Like, I'm talking about Carson Wentz, that is. He needed to plant his feet better when he threw that, because it would have been a touchdown, either that or another pick. But he overthrew Kolar, and it resulted in an interception either way. But Cavante Turpin, there was some times where I thought his speed was a pretty big factor. He wasn't really a return man like I thought he would be, but I'll go fix that. Now, well, no, I think Cavante's okay with being our number one for one main reason, and that is pretty much because he's fast. He's not the tallest, but he came into this game and got banged up a little bit. He bruised his knee. Not what you want to see from your starting running back at all. That happens. Joe Royer, he he also dropped what could have been a touchdown. So both of our tight ends had opportunities to score. Only one actually did. Now I'm pretty sure Collar is actually already the starting tight end. So yeah. But Royer, you got you got two whole different spectrums here. You got a rookie who's struggling to find his way, who wasn't able to catch it, and then Kalar, 108 yards, 4 catches, not quite a touchdown, even though he should have had one. Long of 41, Kalar was balling out. I mean, he was going crazy, he was doing very impressive. But what about the defense? Well, a certain Mason Graham didn't show up how I wanted him to, how I thought he would. But I can't say how he was going to play. I thought he was going to do much better considering he is our best D tackle. But then again, they probably put the best matchups on him just to prevent that. But Miles Bryant, the safety, he did the best he could. Looks like our DBs were the guys who led the team in tackles. DJ Johnson, he didn't do too bad either. Pretty good job on his part. But we had a lot of TFLs. Can't even be mad. A lot of TFLs from a bunch of young guys. Mike Dana, the only man to get a sack, and of course that comes on like the very last play of the game. But still, it was completely irrelevant. We needed to get sacks all throughout the game instead of just at the last moment, like literal last second. And yeah, the guy who got the pick, well, that goes to none other than DJ Johnson, who also led the team in TFLs. He was doing a lot today. I'd say DJ Johnson definitely deserves a start if he isn't already. He got a pick. He got 2 TFLs. What more can you ask for? Pass deflections, well, Kalen Carson was the only man to get some. Forced fumbles, well, we didn't force any. No recoveries. No blocks. Even though we nearly had a blocked kick. No safeties and no defensive touchdowns. Yeah, I'm going to go look at Mason Graham real quick. He is right here. He only had 2 total tackles. Man, he didn't really do as much as I thought he would. Instead, he got outshined by some of his own teammates. Surprising, but It's hard to expect otherwise. It's very hard to expect him not to play good like this. You expect a guy like him to perform very well, but Mason Graham just didn't. Instead, he kind of squandered his opportunity. Looked like just some random, I don't know. He had a bunch of like UDFA's and younger players. Well, obviously he's still young. He's even though it's his rookie, he's still in his first year. But it shouldn't have happened. I mean, seriously, he should have played better. Definitely expecting more out of him next time. So in his first game with the Denver Broncos, it looks like Myles Garrett actually helped them to a win. But actually, let's see. How did he do defense-wise? Well, let's see. Did he lead the team in tackles? Not really, but he only had 5 tackles, but one. He fell with 4 sacks. Oh, brother, yeah. Um. Also, I got another thing. We don't play the Broncos this year. Thank the frickin' Lord we don't. As much as I wanted to, we don't get to have a revenge game against Myles Garrett, unfortunately. But it's looks like it's a good thing that we didn't, because him and Zach Allen put up insanely good numbers. 6 total sacks between 2 people. Well, mock draft 1 is here, and they have us taking a left edge rusher from LSU. I mean, I can imagine we're going to have the number 1 pick considering how we're playing against teams. Now, as you can see, we are 0-6, but the Miami Dolphins, who we traded, or not traded away, we saw Cleveland's former quarterback, 5th-round quarterback, Shador Sanders, leave too. Now, obviously, when Cleveland disbanded, all their players could have went literally anywhere. But the funny thing is, most of their players weren't good enough to be on the starting roster for half the teams in the NFL. So they're like, you know what? I'll give Anchorage a chance. I'll move up to Alaska. There's no income tax in the state. So that's another incentive to bring players here. But guess who Miami has? Yeah, like I said, their former 5th-round quarterback that Cleveland drafted whenever they were still a team. Well, actually, no, I'm wrong. They don't have Shador Sanders as their starting QB. They even got rid of Malik Willis. And instead, they decided to go sign Aaron Rodgers. So they somehow convince him to, instead of signing with the Pittsburgh Steelers again like he did recently, um, he decides to go sign with the Miami Dolphins. Okay. Um, and also, it's reported that this is his last year. Are we going to see Aaron Rodgers retire after just 1 year at the ripe age of 41? Now, look at our schedule. Now, I made the mistake of not starting Diego until, like, I think the Packers game, was it? Yeah, this was Diego's first true start. So Carson Wentz accidentally did get the start for one more game, but still. Um, yeah, Diego Pavia in his first start didn't look too bad, despite losing 30-8. That's also the defense being terrible and the offense just not really scoring too much. So far, Diego, he's not got the best numbers. I will be completely honest. He's not got the best numbers. I just want to see him at least go 500 in touchdown to pick ratio. He looked good in his debut, but so far, other than his debut, he has just kind of stunk it up pretty bad. But that's where we'll leave off. We are 0-6 going off against the Dolphins, who are 3-3, who actually, they're also in the bottom of their division, the AFC East. But it's surprisingly a battle of the bottom with us and Cincinnati, even though we're going to get blown out for most of our games. Also, Bobby Wagner is on the Falcons. Any other weird names? Kenneth Walker seems to be doing really good with Kansas City. 217 yards in one game. Yeah, he is not missing Seattle at all. Rico Dowdle with the Steelers. Emeka Egbegbu with pretty good game. Wow, the Colts actually getting cooked by the Cards. Yeah, we're sitting dead last in the NFL, record wise. We are quite literally the worst team in the NFL. I'd say it's a fair assessment that we get the number one pick. Now, us putting in Diego Pavia and Le'Veon Moss as our starters has nothing to do with it. But it is what it is. We are going to have the Dolphins next week. If y'all have any ideas of if y'all want to see more of this series, let me know. Leave likes. I guess we can set the bar for, I want to say 5 likes, 5, 10 likes. I know 10. I know with how my channel is, 10 likes is definitely a stretch. 5 likes I feel like is reachable, but still, even then, that just feels like a stretch, like a big stretch. Um, yeah, 5 likes if I can. If you made it this far in the video, why not like it? Lets me know you enjoy it. Lets me know y'all want to see more. And it's completely free. But yeah, I should probably ask for a ask if you want to subscribe earlier in the video, but it is what it is. If you want to subscribe, it's completely free. Helps me out, grows the channel even more, gets it out to more people, and you know, yeah, I'd really appreciate it. But yeah, the Anchorage Tigers are made their return, and it's not really looking all too great. The team sucks. We're definitely going to get the number one pick. I can't even doubt that. I can't even guarantee us winning a game. The Dolphins, however, might have us with a chance to win one. Will we be able to win the first ever game in team history against the Miami Dolphins, who are coming to the Tiger Dome, not the Tokyo Dome? It's a completely different place. But yeah, see if they can come to the Tiger Dome and see if we can win our first ever game. Now, obviously, we don't want to win too many games because if we do, then we will lose the number one pick. And we don't want to do that. We want to have as high of a pick as we can. And also, not to mention, we have 2 first-round picks. So, we could be in the ballpark of getting 2 really good players. I'm hoping that is an edge rusher and a corner. Who knows, we might even try to take that quarterback. But that will be it for this video. Like I said before, if you enjoy the video, want to see more, aim for maybe 5 likes. I'd appreciate it. Plus, if you made it this far, you know what? If you've made it this far, go ahead and comment Pavia for QB or something like that. People won't, you know what? Yeah, Pavia for QB. That'll let me know you made it this far, and it'll let me know. Well, yeah, it'll let me know you made it this far. Showed it shows who's actually watching. And plus, I think it's cool getting engagement with y'all. I love getting to talk to y'all. It's being as small of a YouTuber as I am. I enjoy getting to meet or talk to the people that are the fans of mine. Being a small community like mine, like ours, it's not it's not easy, man. We try to grind every day we can. It's literally just me on this channel. I edit, I record, I do all that fun stuff myself. But yeah, if you made it this far, like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. But that'll be it for me and the Anchorage Tigers, who have made their return to the NFL. Well, I guess not a return, but their debut in the NFL. And it's not going so great. 0-6. We got to change that. In the next episode, I am Yo Boy Baller 1. We're the Anchorage Tigers, saying as always, Have a good day. Have a good night. And peace out, everyone.